If you do not want to change, if you do not want to better yourself, if you do not want to break outside of this matrix, if you want to live in your comfortable delusion that they have built for you, do not watch these videos. Leave this channel immediately. If you do not want any truth, if you don't want to understand, if you are not here to hear something that's outside of your own mind and accept others' minds and opinion and the way they think for themselves, you do not belong here. And finally, if you are not trying to be positive, if you are not trying to help create solutions while we discuss the problems and how they got here, you do not belong here. Negativity, hate, disrespect, name calling, those things will not be allowed here on this platform and not in this empire. We are the ones, the true Americans that want to be free and stand as we have always stood. Yo, what up, guys? I know we're a bit late today, but shit happens. I still got a life to live, okay? So don't be hating on your boy. Haha! You know it's time. We gotta turn up a little bit. You know we had to do that. Yeah. Hey, get your weed, get your drink. Time to kick back. Get your mind right. It's time to think. It's time to get right and get back. Yeah. Y'all ready? Welcome in. All my peoples, gotta love you. Gotta have love for you. We having another wonderful show. It is time. It is time. Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready? Welcome. We have another show. We are in the building again. An hour late, but we had to go to the store. It was Thursday. Because we don't want to have to go out on the weekend unless we finna go turn up. I'm talking about going all the way out. You feel me? So this is something that we know for sure. It's been a couple weekends since we went out. Last time we went out, we retained our title as mechanical bull riding champion. Yeah, gotta love those mechanical bulls, man. Those things are a turn up. I apologize for making y'all wait for so long, but we had some stuff to do. Thank you for being here today again. Now, today was a crazy little day, wasn't it? We got all kinds of updates about this war. People won't stop talking about it. There's other stuff happening with the Epstein stuff happening in the background and just so much happening. Like, what the actual fuck? Okay? This is the part where we start to think, what is the distraction? Why? What is this all about? You know, maybe we can ask AI. All right, I'm getting kind of suspicious. So what is going on in the background that we're not looking at because they have the war in our faces. So what's happening that they're not talking about in the media?
Good question. Let's dig past the headline. Yeah, you're right. The war's loud, flashy, and everywhere. But honestly, it's probably doing exactly what you suspect, drowning out everything else. Right now, the Iran strikes, started late February, are killing headlines on purpose. A bunch of folks, even some Republicans like Rep. Thomas Massey, straight up say it's a dodge from the Epstein files finally dropping. Searches for those docs tanked the second bomb started flying. Coincidence? Nah. Beyond that distraction, stuff simmering quietly. Resource grabs, like water and rare earths, or climate migrations pushing millions north from Africa and South Asia, no one's talking about. Congo's resource wars with militias, Sahel insurgencies, even Ethiopia eyeing Red Sea ports. All brewing, but buried under missile footage. Look at this. Global power shifting hard. Here's how the US stacks against China right now. And inequality spiking everywhere. Polarizations through the roof in places like the US, Argentina, Pakistan, makes unrest way more likely, but media's too busy with explosions. Bottom line, wars sell fear. Quiet stuff, like debt bubbles, AI screwing up surgeries, or folks fleeing dried up lands, changes the world without a single tweet. Keep your eyes peeled. That's where the real moves happen.
Tell us more about the global power shifts with the China and the US.
Digging into the latest on US-China power moves. Hang tight. Right now, as of March 2026, the ship's real. China's not overtaking outright yet, but it's closing fast. Economically, US still leads in nominal GDP, around $31.8 trillion projected this year, while China's at about $20.7 trillion. But flip to purchasing power parity, where costs matter more. China's already ahead, $43.5 trillion versus our $31.8. That means their money buys way more domestically, fueling factories, tech, everything. Military-wise, we're still dominant. 11 nuclear carriers, 13,000 aircraft, massive global reach. China's got members, bigger army, hypersonics, those artificial islands in the South China Sea, turning into missile ports. Here's a quick look at how spending stacks up over time. US flatlining high, China ramping steady. And yeah, their adjusted power is catching up. PPP makes their budget punch harder. Those islands, satellite shots show runways, hangars, radars, full-on bases now. Not subtle. Politically, Trump's heading to Beijing end of March. First big summit since the truce. Experts say it's buy time mode. Both sides building walls, tech bans, supply chains, without full blowup. But folks worldwide, polls show 3/4 think China's influence grows next decade. US soft power slipping. Trump's chaos pushes allies toward Beijing's steady deals. Bottom line, we're not losing yet, but the gap's narrowing. China's patient, waiting us out while we argue tariffs and alliances. If they crack chips or EVs fully, watch out.
So how is the US being viewed worldwide? How is everybody seeing us?
Checking how the world sees us right now, it's mixed. It's pretty rough out there. Honestly, the world's not thrilled with us right now. From late 2025 into early 2026, favorability is hovering around a median of 49% favorable across dozens of countries. But that's down big in places like Europe and Canada. Pew's last big sweep showed splits. Israel loves us at 83%, Japan and South Korea too, but Sweden's at 79% unfavorable, France and Germany over 60. Mexico dropped from 61 to 29 favorable after all the border stuff. Trump's back in, and it's tanking soft power hard. Over half in 19 countries lack confidence in his leadership. Think reckless or unpredictable. Allies feel ditched. Europe sees us pushing them to fend for themselves, while we grab at Greenland or Venezuela. That NSS doc, it's basically saying America first. You guys handle your own mess. Here's a quick map from recent data. Shows where folks lean US versus China. Notice how much of Africa, Middle East, Latin America, darker shades mean China's winning hearts. And confidence in Trump, low everywhere except maybe India or Hungary. In the EU, only 16% call us an ally now. 20% straight up see us as a rival or enemy. Polls say most expect China's influence to boom next decade. 83% in South Africa, 72% in Brazil. Us, flat or fading. No one's betting on growth. Bottom line, we're still the big dog militarily, but morally, credibility's shot. People see chaos, isolationism, and China looking steady. It's not hate, more like disappointment. And yeah, that makes alliances wobble.
That's pretty intense. So what moves do you think we should make for our U.S., at least diplomatically, that will put us in a more advantageous situation?
Okay, let's get practical. If we're serious about clawing back some ground, diplomacy's gotta be smart, not loud. Here's what I'd push, no fluff. First, stop the solo act. Quit treating allies like ATM machines. Europe's already pivoting to China because we keep threatening tariffs or pulling troops. Re-up NATO funding quietly, but tie it to joint tech sharing. Let Germany build our next-gen drones, Japan handle batteries. Make them feel like partners, not vassals. That alone flips the America First narrative to America with you. Second, play the long game on tech. China's winning hearts with cheap 5G, EVs, solar, because we slap bans instead of competing. Flip it. Fund joint R&D hubs in India, Vietnam, Brazil. Say, hey, we'll co-own the patents if you build factories here. Beat sanctions, turns them into stakeholders. And yeah, ease up on Huawei bans where it makes sense. Let them sell in Africa while we undercut with better, cheaper alternatives. Third, fix the image fast. Trump's chaos is poison. Send Blinken or whoever on a listen tour to Europe, Africa, Latin America. No speeches, just coffee and questions. What do you need? Then deliver. Debt relief for Kenya, green tech for Mexico. Small wins stack up. And ditch the Greenland talk. It's embarrassing. Fourth, China summit smart. When Trump goes to Beijing, don't grandstand. Focus on one thing, rare earths. We need them for chips, batteries. Offer them a slice of our AI market in exchange for stable supply. It's not weakness, it's leverage. If they say no, we quietly pivot to Australia and Chile. Win either way. Last, talk less, do more. Cut the Twitter wars. Let results speak. Rejoin Paris Accord, but only after we actually fund it. People notice action, not noise. Bottom line, we don't need to be liked. We need to be useful. Make the world think, damn, the US still delivers. That beats bombs or bluster every time.
This is interesting. This is very interesting. I will do this. We're gonna check something out here. My bad. I was really thinking about that. I was really thinking about what the AI was saying because this is pretty wild. All right, this is interesting. Let's see what they're talking about on this one.
In the air, striking Iranian. The firepower over Iran's intensifying as Operation Epic Fury punishes what's left of the regime. B-2 bombers are in the air, striking Iranian ballistic missiles, mobile launchers, and command and control. U.S. Central Command releasing video showing Iranian planes being smoked right off the tarmac. The U.S. Air Force also focusing on Iran's underground missile cities, where it's believed that thousands of medium and short-range missiles are being stored. U.S. bombers, drones, and fighter jets are circling these mountains, and the minute mobile missile launchers roll out of the tunnel to fire, we take them out. Then drop heavy ordnance to collapse the cave and bury everyone alive. The goal? Complete disarmament. Here's CENTCOM Commander Admiral Brad Cooper.
In just the last 72 hours, America's bomber force has struck nearly 200 targets deep inside of Iran, including around Tehran. And in just the last hour, U.S. B-2 bombers dropped dozens of 2,000-pound penetrator bombs targeting deeply buried ballistic missile launchers. Notably, we've also struck Iran's equivalent of Space Command, which degrades their ability to threaten Americans.
On top of that, Israel says it's knocked out the enemy's cyber warfare headquarters and one of their intel hubs. Plus, 30 of their warships have been turned into seafood. And we just got another big one.
In just the last few hours, we hit an Iranian drone carrier ship, roughly the size of a World War II aircraft carrier. And as we speak, it's on fire.
The commander-in-chief's monitoring the situation and is quite pleased.
As soon as they set off a missile, within 4 minutes, the launcher gets hit. They don't know what's happening. Their Navy is gone. 24 ships in 3 days. That's a lot of ships. Their anti-aircraft weapons are gone. So they have no air force. They have no air defense. All of their airplanes are gone. Their communications are gone. Missiles are gone. Other than that, they're doing quite well.
Secretary of War Pete Hegseth says Iran's strategy is simple. Take a beating and wait us out.
Iran is hoping that we cannot sustain this, which is a really bad miscalculation. There's no shortage of American will here. We've got no shortage of munitions. Our stockpiles of defensive and offensive weapons allow us to sustain this campaign as long as we need to. If you think you've seen something, just wait.
The Pentagon's testing its doomsday ballistic missile now in the Pacific. The Minuteman III. It's a big one, capable of carrying nuclear warheads 20 times more powerful than the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima. It can travel 6,000 miles at speeds of 15,000 miles an hour. It's hypersonic and can strike anywhere in the world in less than 30 minutes. Air Force Global Strike Command says the missile was tested to verify its effectiveness, readiness, and accuracy, just in case we have to use it. And the test was successful. The Iranians know.
What the fuck?
Notice and picked up the phone.
They're tough, and they want to fight. And they're calling, they're saying, how do we make a deal? I said, you're being a little bit late. And we want to fight now more than they do.
If you're a mullah, you're panicking. But in front of the camera, they're Rambo, trying to bait America into a ground war.
Are you afraid of a U.S. invasion in your country?
No, we are waiting for them.
You are waiting for the U.S. military to invade the ground troops?
Are you guys catching this shit? Because this is wild. Did dude say he's waiting?
Because we are confident that we can confront them, and that
U.S. military to invade the ground troops?
Oh, yeah. Nothing but love, not trying to hurt nobody's feelings. So let me go ahead and run these things here. My bad. I was late again today. I had to apologize again for that. Probably ruined the flow. People that came earlier, I'm sorry if you missed me or whatever. But we'll keep going. But they're ready to shoot nukes. What? These guys are baiting them into a ground attack. What? I don't understand what's going on right now.
Rambo trying to bait America into a ground war.
Are you afraid of a U.S. invasion in your country?
No, we are waiting for them.
You are waiting for the U.S. military to invade the ground troops?
Yes, because we are confident that we can confront them, and that would be a big disaster for them.
Boots on the ground, not part of this operation, says the Pentagon. Right now, it's an air campaign, and it's been devastating and running ahead of schedule. Although Trump is saying he's all for a Kurdish ground offensive. More on that later.
This is fucking crazy.
Iran has an even bigger problem. Reports say Iranian soldiers, police officers, and Revolutionary Guards aren't showing up to work. Maybe they're dead. Maybe they're in hiding. Or maybe they're waiting for immunity.
I'm once again calling on all members of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, the military, and the police to lay down their arms. They're only going to be killed. And now is the time to stand up for the Iranian people and help take back your country. So you'll be perfectly safe with total immunity, or you'll face absolutely guaranteed death.
The mullahs are getting sloppy. Today, an Iranian drone hit Azerbaijan, the 12th country to be attacked by Tehran. And now they're vowing to retaliate.
What Iran is doing by targeting allied countries that would otherwise want to stay out of this, they've actually pulled them into the American orbit. So now you've got UAE and Qatar and Bahrain and Saudi and Kuwait and others saying, hey, we're with you. We'll shoot with you. We'll fly with you. We'll defend with you.
The Europeans finally got off the sidelines. Spain, after closing its bases, is now joining a fleet of Dutch, Greek, and Italian warships sailing to Cyprus off the coast of Israel. Iran's bruised, battered, and isolated. Their ballistic missile attacks have dropped by 90%. And good news, Israelis are coming out of their bunkers. The country lowered its public threat level to allow citizens to gather in public places again. And flights are now being allowed to take off from Tel Aviv. And we're learning more about how the Israelis duped the Ayatollah into thinking he was safe. Reports say Jewish generals all made sure to be publicly seen leaving their headquarters Friday night. Iranian intelligence expected the coast was clear for the weekend. But the generals snuck back into the building wearing disguises. The Ayatollah and his top officials took a breakfast meeting on Saturday above ground. Boom. Every single Iranian leader is either dead, missing, or sweating bullets in a bunker. The president says he has to be personally involved in picking who gets to run the country. Inside Iran, the runner-up is Khomeini's son. But Trump says this: they're wasting their time. Khomeini's son is a lightweight. He's unacceptable to me. We want someone that will bring harmony and peace to Iran. And according to WikiLeaks, Khomeini's son doesn't have what it takes to lead the nation. Intelligence cables reveal Khomeini Jr. visited British hospitals to treat severe erectile dysfunction. Mossad already has him targeted for assassination. Shouldn't be that hard. The U.S. administration, while pushing for regime collapse, is also defending attacks against oil tankers and oil infrastructure. Oil isn't moving out of the strait. A refinery was hit. A tanker flagged to the Bahamas, also on fire. Gas prices have gone up about 25 cents a gallon since Saturday. There's going to be some short-term pain for American consumers until the Iranians are defanged, which we hope is within just a few weeks, and oil drops back down to the 60s.
We had it very low, but I had to take this little detour if it's okay with everybody.
But no one's more spooked than the Chinese. They just ordered their refineries to suspend exports. If Operation Epic Fury succeeds and Beijing ever gets frisky, Trump can make one phone call and slap Xi with an oil embargo. The Trump administration is securing American interest in the Middle East and in Latin America. Venezuela is sending oil to Texas refineries to take the bite out of this price spike. And instead of sending gold to China, those shipments stopped. Doug Burgum's down in Caracas cutting a mining deal to send gold bars north to Fort Knox. As we cement American power in the Persian Gulf, we're consolidating power here in the Western Hemisphere. This weekend at Doral, Trump's hosting a Latin American summit where all the leaders will talk shop and play golf. Maybe Cuba can come next year.
What's happening with Cuba is amazing, and we think that we want to finish this one first, but that will be just a question of time before you and a lot of unbelievable people are going to be going back to Cuba. Hopefully not to stay. We want you back, and we don't want to lose you. We don't want to make it so nice that they stay.
Remember the domino theory during the Cold War? Trump's flipping dominoes the other way. The world's changing fast because the United States is imposing our will. We have the power to shape our own destiny like no other country in the history of civilization. It's just a matter of, do we have the will? And
this is very dangerous.
Pray that Operation Epic Fury is a success, and for the safety of our troops, and for the quick return of the free flow of oil.
I don't know, man. I don't know. This is getting pretty wild. I think my opinion is starting to change about this war. I don't know. I don't know if this is I don't know if this is World War III material.
President Trump has not ruled out boots on the ground in Iran. Are you afraid of a U.S. invasion in your country?
No, we are waiting for them.
You are waiting for the U.S. military to invade the ground troops?
Yes, because we are confident that we can confront them, and that would be a big disaster for them.
All right. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi gave a chilling warning to U.S. President Donald Trump, saying Iran can confront a military ground invasion. All right. Foreign Minister Araghchi spoke exclusively to NBC News anchor Tom Lamas on NBC Nightly News about the U.S. strikes on Iran. All right. Let's see if they're going to actually do the interview and the talking.
Adam, good to see you. Thanks for joining me.
It's a lot of reading.
So we're in a very strong position now, and their leadership is just rapidly going. Everybody that seems to want to be a leader, they end up dead.
Meanwhile, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt has served CNN anchor Caitlin Collins on a plate after the journalist ranted about the criticism of the liberal media's coverage.
He's was complaining that it was front page news about the service members who were killed. That's not what the secretary said, Caitlin, and that's not what the secretary meant, and you know it. You know you're being disingenuous. There is not, we've never had a secretary of defense. Who cares more?
Get through where tragic things happen. It's front page news. I get it. The press only wants to make the president look bad.
Yeah,
you know, we the press does of U.S. service members under every president.
The press does only want to make the president look bad. That's a fact. And especially you. No, listen to me. Especially you and especially CNN. And the Secretary of Defense cares deeply about our war fighters and our men and women in uniform. He travels all across this country to meet with them, to connect with them, and your network has hardly ever probably reported on that.
Joining me now is Wrong Speak Publishing founder Adam B. Coleman. Adam, good to see you. Thanks for joining me. What is with the liberal media's obsession with demonising the president, even during an historic moment in time when a threat to the West has now been taken out?
Yeah, well, I mean, old habits die hard. They can't help themselves but to frame just about anything that he does as being negative. All common sense goes out the window when your only objective is to attack the president. This is not to say that Donald Trump shouldn't have some sort of criticisms about how the war is even started in the first place. He's the president of the United States, so he's not immune from criticism. But when one particular media outlet, let's say CNN, for example, 99% of the time publishes commentary that is explicitly negative towards the president, they have a bias. In the same way, if I publish 99% of commentary against the Democrats, I guess I have a bias as well, right? But they are unwilling to acknowledge these things. They think that they're arbiters of truth, and they're not.
No, that they're certainly not. And in the end, they have to be objective. I mean, that is the role of an impartial news organisation. And none of them ever show any sort of media coverage on this in an objective manner. These are the comments the CNN journalist was referring to by Secretary of War Pete Hegseth. Have a look.
This is what the fake news misses. We've taken control of Iran's airspace and waterways without boots on the ground. We control their fate. But when a few drones get through or tragic things happen, it's front page news. I get it. The press only...
Everybody is doing this. We control their fate. We have the power to shape, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of pride right here. This is not gonna end well. I can feel the underestimation. I can see this is not going to be the best thing ever. It's not. I don't see this going well at all. I want to hope for the best. But man, this is a hard one.
Wants to make the president look bad, but try for once to report the reality. The terms of this war will be set by us at every step.
Oh, I thought they were pretty fair comments. He also said this. Have a listen.
The leader of the unit who attempted to assassinate President Trump has been hunted down and killed. Iran tried to kill President Trump. President Trump got the last laugh. Now, this is not a mission accomplished.
Adam, I thought those comments were strong.
Wow, the pride, the hubris. Trump got the last laugh. Why? Why are you going so hard like that? That is not good. That does not look good.
They were straight to the point. In the end, he is head of that department and he has got to be strong.
I mean, there's no remorse. It's not even a little bit, like, not even a little bit. Like, not even a little bit. A little bit of remorse. Not even the tiniest bit. It's like a joke. This is not a joke. This is not funny. This is very serious. They could at least be a little bit, like, a little humble about it and show a little bit of, reluctance to have to do it. It's like they're enjoying this shit.
In his commentary, but the left go after him. They attack him and the administration. What does it say about the agenda?
Yeah, the agenda is to go after Trump in any sort of way and go after anyone who's attached to Trump in his administration. I mean, what he said was relatively rational. I get if you try to, like what Kim Collins was trying to do, take that one little snippet and pretend that he has no moral compass, no feelings about the death of any service member as a service member himself. I think it's a very disingenuous look at things. What he's actually saying is the way that they're engaging minimizes casualty. She's not understanding that perspective. So once again, this is a heavy bias to try to find something wrong with actually a situation that could be far worse with a reckless president who's barely alive and can't even walk downstairs.
Well, spot on. Exactly. I'm interested to get your views on the polling. There was one that came out a few days ago. It said 1 in 4 Americans, a majority, of course, Republicans, say they approve of the US military strikes on Iran. The national survey by Reuters Ipsos indicates about half believe Trump is too willing to use military force. 27% said they approve, 43% disapprove, nearly 30% not sure. Carolyn Levitt says Donald Trump has support. Have a listen.
Does the president believe the country supports the actions that he's taken so far in Iran?
I think he does. And I think the president knows the country is smart enough to read past many of the fake news headlines produced by people in this room that this action was unjustifiable. Again, this is a rogue terrorist regime that has been threatening the United States, our allies, and our people for 47 years.
Adam, I'm interested to get your thoughts. How have the strikes been received over in the US?
It's interesting. It seems to be mixed, and it's not necessarily left or right. I'm in my early 40s. I still remember, if we just go into Iraq, we'll just stop everything. And if we go into Afghanistan, we'll fix everything. And that became what seemingly we would call like forever wars, where it just continuous occupation. So a lot of Americans are very war hesitant. Any sort of battle or any sort of military action, we just become very hesitant of moving forward. But what's happening here is different. So I'm generally not pro-war just for the sake of war. I'm pro-diplomacy. But what's happened here is that diplomacy failed. From what I can tell, diplomacy failed when it came to Iran, and they were trying to develop nuclear weapons. And so Donald Trump is the one president, as a lame duck president, he'll be out in a few years, and doesn't care. And so he's going to move forward, but he's going to move forward with the intention of not having boots on the ground. And so I think that is the most important part, to minimize human casualties coming from our side.
Yeah.
Minimize human casualties. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. All right. We got 6 minutes, 1 minute. Another, this one's 9 minutes, but it's China. I want to hear what China's got to say.
We were talking about how suddenly, and Peter, when I spoke about the war last week, we were talking about how suddenly, all of a sudden, all of these professional signs suddenly start showing up everywhere. Are these signs and everything, this whole organizational network, it seems very professional. It seems to be completely non-organic. Why does this get charity status? It seems like this would be something that the Trump administration could really look at as a way to damage this network.
No, I think you're exactly right. And we've had conversations with senior officials in the Treasury Department exactly on this issue. The bottom line is a guy like Roy Bingham gets a tax deduction when he donates to these radical causes, I would argue on behalf of China. And why are we giving him a tax deduction? Why are we giving him nonprofit status when, again, I would argue he's doing the bidding of a foreign power? There were even news reports that he was activating this network even before the United States and Israel started bombing Iran. And that has given speculation to the idea that maybe the Chinese government, Chinese satellites were aware that military operations were commencing, and that's maybe Roy Bingham was told about it and activated accordingly. So I think the Treasury Department is key here because they can take out the reforms necessary.
Indeed, and of course, it all comes back to the importance that China places on Iran, because one of the things that we've seen here is Chinese technology going into the proving ground of battle and actually not doing that great. We've seen Chinese ships that were heavily dependent on.
Every time this guy does a S or a H, he just whistles through his teeth. I know it's annoying, guys. I'm sorry.
Chinese technology now at the bottom of the ocean. We've seen Chinese air defense systems that, as one person said, work by blowing up when there's a missile near them. Is this showing that the Chinese military may be a bit more of a paper tiger than we had thought or feared?
Yeah, yes, absolutely. And I think this is a big concern for Beijing. Let's remember, Beijing gave to Iran their most advanced air defense systems, highly touted. They didn't end up doing anything. They didn't shoot down a single American or Israeli plane, and they were destroyed by the air forces. There are intelligence systems that China has set up in Iran that didn't work. And this, to me, is reminiscent of what happened during the Cold War back in 1982. The Israeli Air Force and the then Syrian Air Force squared off above Lebanon that year. The Israelis were flying American F-15s, and the Syrians were flying MiG-25s. The Israelis won that air war by shooting down 82 MiGs without suffering a single casualty. Yes, the pilot training was key, but the technology was important as well. But what happened after that is the Soviet ability to sell their arms and to gain that revenue and to gain a political advantage with the countries buying those weapons kind of evaporated. Because if you're in the developing world, why do you want the second best weapon system when you might be facing the first weapon system? So I anticipate that this is a major concern for China as it looks to trying to sell arms abroad and also use those arms sales to advance their political agenda.
Well, Peter, I would go a step further, and I'd love your thoughts on this. But, for years now, at least a couple of decades, we've seen China more and more chauvinistically saying the West is in decline, the United States is in decline, China is rising. You want to tie up with us because the 21st century will be the Chinese century. Now, this seems to shift that narrative quite a bit. And people who watch the show know that I have been putting for a long time Venezuela, Cuba, now Iran into the context of confronting China without confronting China. What do you make of that? Is this the ultimate Trump strategy? And when you see things like the news which broke a little while ago that China is apparently banning exports of jet fuel and petroleum products, it says to me that they may know they've got a real problem here.
Yeah, I think they have a huge problem here. Just look at the competition that's taking place in artificial intelligence right now. And you would wonder, what does this have to do with Venezuela and Iran? Actually, a fair amount, because the two big tech infrastructure companies for China that are central to the AI race for them are Huawei and ZTE. These are the big conglomerates that create the networks that you need for artificial intelligence networks to work. Well, both of those companies, huge contractors in Venezuela and Iran, and they are now looking at losing tens of billions of dollars in revenue because they have large projects in scale in both of those countries. And guess what? They're not going to get paid for them. So the implications for China's sort of top-down, what I call market Leninist system, which is kind of a blend of the market but dictated by Leninist control, has now been completely thrown into disarray. And what's happened is that the United States has picked off two of their biggest allies in the developing world, Venezuela and Iran, and China has been helpless to do anything about it. Any thought that they had of retaking Taiwan, for example, they now face the dilemma that the United States is in firm control of the Straits of Hormuz, and between 40 and 50% of all of China's energy, whether it comes from Iran, whether it comes from Saudi Arabia, goes through the Straits of Hormuz. So you could have a scenario where China decides to attack Taiwan, and the United States says, guess what? No oil from this region is going to China, and then they are in deep, deep trouble. So the amount of leverage that Donald Trump now has over China going into what is supposed to be a meeting between these two presidents, not too far away, the entire equation, I think, of that conversation has shifted to Trump's advantage.
Do you think, though, just coming out of that meeting, you know, we know that Trump is a great deal maker. You know that he's transactional as well as principled for America. Do you see some sort of rapprochement, maybe some sort of détente with China saying, you know, maybe we've bitten off more than we can chew. We need to, both sides, calm this down?
Well, I think that's going to be China's line. I'm skeptical about negotiated solutions with China because they don't honor them. You know, Trump negotiated the purchase of American agricultural products, a whole bunch of agreements with China in his first term. China didn't honor any of them. China said they were going to deal with precursor chemicals and the Chinese industrial involvement in fentanyl. They didn't do any of that. That was back in 2017. So I don't see any evidence that when China says, hey, let's make a deal, let's stick to that deal, I don't see any evidence that they are going to do so. So my advice to Donald Trump, of course, he's not asking for it, would be to be skeptical of any proposed deal by China and continue with an assertive foreign policy that does not directly challenge China, but continues in this competition between the two powers to take the initiative and to take advantage of what is China's clear vulnerability and weakness in this economic space. We started the year by them threatening with rare earth minerals. We are now in the scenario where they have a deep vulnerability when it comes to energy. We talked about oil. Let's remember, they import a lot of coal from Iran, and that coal is what they use to fuel their data centers for AI. So they've got major vulnerabilities in ways that we haven't even fully appreciated right now.
Peter Schweitzer, I think you're absolutely correct. Love having you on the program. Thank you so much for joining me, and everybody out there, go find Peter Schweitzer's books and everything else online. Now,
Well, that's interesting. Don't get me wrong. But,
with total immunity, or so you'll be perfectly safe with total immunity, or you'll face absolutely guaranteed death.
So, this is pretty heavy. They don't know what to do. The president urged Iranian diplomats worldwide to request asylum and join the effort to shape a new and better Iran.
And I'm once again calling on all members of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, the military, and the police to lay down their arms. They're only going to be killed. And now is the time to stand up for the Iranian people and help take back your country. You're going to have a chance after all these years to take back your country. Accept immunity. We'll give you immunity. And we'll be giving you really the right side of history, because that's what it is. So you'll be perfectly safe with total immunity, or you'll face absolutely guaranteed death. And I don't want to see that. They don't want to see it either. We also urge Iranian diplomats around the world to request asylum and to help us shape a new and better Iran with great potential. It's a country with great potential. It's a much better future for Iran. It's now beginning. It's going to be.
Damn, the president is losing his hair over this, guys. Shout out to the president's hair.
Be, I think, a great future, and the United States will ensure that whoever leads the country next, Iran will not threaten America or its neighbors, Israel, anybody. If you look at what happened, they had missiles aimed at all of these other countries, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, UAE, many others, that weren't really involved very much, and they had missiles aimed. Well, they were aimed there long before this ever started. They were going after the entire Middle East, and then we came along. We blew up their party.
All right. It comes as the U.S. says it. It is in the war with Iran to win as it steps up its military campaign. And President Trump urges an uprising from all Iranians.
US says it is in the war with Iran to win it as it steps up its military campaign, and President Trump urges an uprising from Iranians. Washington correspondent Jonathan Kersley reports.
The conflict inside Iran is almost a week long, and it is intensifying. The US says it's going deeper into Iran. The Pentagon confirming B-2 bombers have been used to strike Iranian missile launches. Today, President Trump said he loves winning, and he was alongside a team of winners, the Inter Miami football team led by Lionel Messi, but he was firmly focused on Iran.
The United States military, together with the wonderful Israeli partners, continues to totally demolish the enemy far ahead of schedule.
The US says it has sunk 30 Iranian Navy ships in a matter of days. Iran's anti-aircraft weapons, according to the US president, are gone. So too communications and warplanes, and its stockpile of ballistic missiles has been reduced by 90%. That's according to the head of the US Central Command. Once again, America's commander-in-chief, President Trump, urged Iran's Revolutionary Guard to lay down its arms, promising immunity and urging an uprising from Iranian citizens.
They're saying, how do we make a deal? I said, you're being a little bit late. And we want to fight now more than they do. I'm once again calling on all members of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, the military, and the police to lay down their arms. They're only going to be killed.
Secretary of War Pete Hegseth once again outlined America's mission today. He was alongside the head of the US Central Command, saying the US will be in this for as long as it takes.
Iran is hoping that we cannot sustain this, which is a really bad miscalculation for the IRGC in Iran. You see, there's no shortage of American will here. We've got no shortage of munitions. Our stockpiles of defensive and offensive weapons allow us to sustain this campaign as long as we need to.
We are fighting to win. Through combined U.S. and Israeli combat power, we will continue decimating Iran's ability to project power outside its borders. So we're not just hitting what they have, we're destroying their ability to rebuild. And so as we transition to the next phase of this operation, we will systemically dismantle Iran's missile production capability for the future, and that's absolutely in progress.
Today, President Trump also had a message on regime change for Iran, saying in interviews with Axios and Politico, he wants a say in who leads Iran, and that he does not want Ayatollah Ali Khamenei's son, Mujtaba, to succeed his father. They are wasting their time. Khamenei's son is a lightweight. I have to be involved in the appointment, like with Delcy in Venezuela, he said. Khamenei's son is unacceptable to me. We want someone that will bring harmony and peace to Iran, President Trump said, warning that installing a leader who follows essentially the same path as the Ayatollah could well force the United States back to a war in 5 years. But Iran had its own message to the United States of America, saying it's prepared to capture and kill troops in their thousands if boots on the ground are sent into Iran.
Are you afraid of a U.S. invasion in your country?
No, we are waiting for them.
You are waiting for the U.S. military to invade the ground troops?
Yes, because we are confident that we can confront them, and that would be a big disaster for them. Well, we were ready for this war even more than the previous war. So you can see, the quality of our missiles, how much they are upgraded after the last war, because we learned lots of lessons.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said yesterday that right now that wasn't on the table, but didn't rule out President Trump making that decision. Iran's foreign minister has warned Gulf nations that they should be prepared for what he calls collateral damage as Iran continues to strike what it says are US military bases and government buildings. Iran's foreign minister also stating that as it stands right now, Iran does not want a ceasefire with the US.
Now you're saying Iran does not want a ceasefire.
We are not asking for a ceasefire. And we don't see any reason why we should negotiate with the US when we negotiated with them twice, and every time they attacked us at the middle of negotiations. So there is no request for a ceasefire by us, and there is no request for the negotiation with the US from us. We have never sent any messages to them.
And the United States says it has not struck with its hardest force inside Iran yet. President Trump says he's promising a bright new future for Iran. Right now, it's war that's raging.
Man. It's pretty deep stuff, man. Well, let's do something fun. Let's see. What fun stuff do we have lined up for today? Let's do...
This is an ordinary record, but today I'm going to be showing you the world's most unbreakable records, including one so impossible nobody wants to attempt it, willingly, at least. And first, we got a shooter so fast, he set an unbreakable world record. This is Bob Munden, the fastest gunslinger in the world, and a man who really puts the quick in quick draw. See, Bob was born with a fast-twitching muscle fiber in his arm, allowing him to shoot 2 targets in 1/10 of a second. Damn, bro set a record in the blink of an eye. And so did this player, because if you shut your eyes for even a second, you might miss this goal too. That literally happened in the first 2.9 seconds of kickoff, making it the fastest goal in football history. Man, that shot was clean. Well, what this guy did to the Cardinals was straight up dirty, because that return was 100 meters, making it the longest play in NFL history. That guy was cooking. But what John Ram did here was straight up good looking, because this guy just hit one of the most incredible hole-in-ones of all time. I mean, skimming stones across the water is already hard enough, but he literally just skipped all the foreplay and went straight to the action. And that was only record 4. If you don't want to see what the most impossible records look like, stop watching. But first, I gotta show you this, because in 2001, Baron Davis hit the longest shot in basketball history, a record of which 23 years later is still undefeated. Ashburn who could run to the top table. Somebody got another shot. Damn. There's no buzzer beater quite like sticking it from 27 meters away. Those are rookie numbers compared to this. Because in 1991, Mike Powell jumped a whole 8.95 meters to set the world record long jump. Just to give you some perspective, that's like leaping over the length of a freaking school bus. Jesus! Nobody in 33 years has been able to outjump him. And by the looks of it, I don't think anyone ever will. But what if I told you there's one high jumper that's snatching up all the records? Because Stephon Holmes makes jumping hurdles look like a walk in the park. See, these things on the left are your average Olympic hurdles. And he's casually just hopping over ones that are double in size like it's nothing. Bro's literally Super Mario. And here he is again. Yeah, that's a 1.81 meter tall man jumping over hurdles even taller than him. I've heard of lifting your own body weight, but jumping over your own height? Now that's just ridiculous. But it's still not as ridiculous as this, because it's quite literally the most badass goal you'll ever see. Yeah, so that's not your regular player, because that goal was from 27 meters away, making it the longest overhead goal in football history. Jeez Louise. But where one goalie may die from embarrassment, others may die from raw power. I mean, sure, keepers always want to prevent goals, but getting in the way of that strike would be a career ender, because that ball traveling at 269 kilometers per hour, making it the fastest shot ever recorded. Bro didn't jump to save the shot, he jumped to avoid it. That kind of power is beyond measure. Carlin Isles' speed is beyond catching, because he's the fastest player to ever grace the game of rugby. See, during a game at the Cape Town Sevens, Carlin got the ball and almost ran the full length of the field in just 7 seconds, reaching a top speed of 37 kilometers an hour in the process. Yeah, give that guy an inch and he'll clear a mile. And it wasn't the only time either. That's Carlin Isles! A 100-meter sprinter holding a rugby ball is just too OP. But not as OP as the limbo queen herself, Shamika Campbell, because she was born with no bones in her body. Well, yeah, it seems that way anyway. I mean, she's literally able to fold her body like a pretzel whilst holding 2 trays under the height of just 2 beer bottles. What a legend. And if we're talking legends, gotta mention this guy, because his world record pushed the boundaries of what I thought was humanly possible. See, this isn't any regular handstand, because this monk's doing it with just 2 fingers. Yeah, he's only one of only 2 known people in the world who can perform this trick by doing a handstand without any hands. What the?
This is crazy, man. I'm telling you, some people are just so awesome. So awesome. See, this right here, this is stuff that's unappreciated. Very unappreciated. I appreciate it. This is crazy. I still can't believe this.
I've never seen anything like that. And I've never seen this before either. Because in 2022, this guy set a record for skiing down the world's longest rail at 154 meters.
That's a long grind,
this guy's got off the rails. I'd be lying if I told you he did it in his first try. Yeah, that's why Red Bull athletes are on another level. But that wasn't the only winner miracle they sponsored, because this record really supports the wings claims. But first, here's a guy who doesn't even need wings, because Sam Watson can climb faster than Spider-Man, if Spider-Man was real. Speed like that is no joke. Bro makes seasoned professionals look like rookies. Damn! A 15-meter wall in under 5 seconds. There's levels to this shit. And there's levels to planking, because Josef Salek is the plank tank. See, back in 2023, this guy remained in this very position for an ungodly 9 hours, 38 minutes, and 47 seconds. That's 9 hours and 38 minutes too long. And look, doing anything for 9 hours is a long time. But when it's holding the plank position, that's just crazy. I'd say it's probably starting to burn a bit by now. Good news though, there's less than 6 hours remaining. And then there was only one. Until finally, a new record was set, beating the previous by a whole 8 minutes. Now that's an unbreakable record. Which is what everyone thought about Eddie Hall's 500 kg deadlift. I mean, the guy looked like he was about to explode. That was only until a few years later, when half-Thor Julius Bjornsson topped it by 1 kilo. And I know what you're thinking, 1 kg isn't much, but compare the aftermath to Eddie's. It soon becomes clear who's the real world's strongest man. You can't argue with that. And you can't argue with the records we got coming up either, like the highest high dive, or kayaking down a waterfall, and a record so crazy it was broken by accident. Yeah, no one in the right mind would do that on purpose. But you know what isn't a mistake? Liking and subscribing to the channel, and massive air on a snowboard. Because sometimes a big ramp, top speed, and a massive pair of balls is all you need to make history. Man, he just launched himself 11.5 meters in the air with a snowboard. Dude had his head in the clouds. But Ryoyu Kobayashi got even higher, because he set out to beat the previous world record for the longest ski jump of all time at 253.5 meters, a record which was held by Stefan Kraft for over 7 years. Until
we saw this one. This was crazy.
...291 meters through the air. God damn! Because Red Bull really does give you wings. But now we're jumping over to something even crazier. The highest high dive ever. Yeah, there are people out there willing to put everything on the line just to say that they did it. What you just witnessed was a 58.8 meter drop, which, FYI, is taller than the Leaning Tower of Pisa. And that's a tall structure. Embracing nature at 123 kilometers an hour, well, that's one way to make a splash. I thought he was a goner in the first half. I'm not gonna lie. But I wish I wasn't lying about this next record. The highest waterfall drop in a kayak ever. See, in 2010, Tyler Brott looked at this waterfall and thought, paddling down was a good idea.
Looks good. I checked the level this morning and it's like holding even right at 2 grand. So yeah, man, I think we're in there, dude. It's just a matter of bucking up and hucking it at this point.
But yeah, Everest's 58-meter tall waterfall only goes one way, right? Just in case it wasn't clear enough already, this is a trained professional in a controlled environment. Do not recreate anything you're about to see. Damn, not only did he stick the landing, but he lived to see another day. But look, we still gotta talk about the most unbreakable record of them all.
That's crazy.
The time Jamie Pierre dropped from a 78-meter cliff and almost died for it. Spoiler alert, he didn't. In fact, the only scratch he sustained was for a really dumb reason. But we'll get back to that in just a second. See, Jamie was a pioneer in the world of free skiing and one of the most accomplished big mountain skiers in the world. But in 2006, he wanted to take his career to new heights. And let's just say, he didn't disappoint. Jamie amazingly survived the fall before skiing away with only a cut lip, which funnily enough was caused by a member of his team digging him out of the snow. Yeah, the only injury he endured was from a shovel and not the crazy drop. That should be considered the highest ski jump, right? But only 2 years later in 2008, when filming a ski movie went horribly wrong. Because while skiing down a mountain in the Alps, Fred Severson unintentionally missed his turn and skied 107 meters off of a cliff into the snow below, all while miraculously suffering no injuries. Yeah, not even a scratch lip like our boy Jamie.
Nothing bad, everything is okay, but he jumped a big cliff on the wrong place.
Just imagine unintentionally mixing up your lines and skiing off the highest cliff ever recorded by accident. That will never happen again. And neither will the record for jumping out of a plane without a parachute. Yeah, and that's just one world record. There's a whole lot more where that came from, like riding the world's tallest unicycle or flying a plane through 2 tunnels. Look, if you want to hear more, you need to click that video right here, because these world records are even crazier.
Whoa. What's that? I just...
This is an ordinary record, but today I'm going to be showing you the world's most
So, a lot of this is wild. I mean, how many of us are actually going to go try to do stuff like that?
I think it's going to be a very interesting fight. His dancing and my fighting. And
yeah, it's like that.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's with great pleasure that I announce to you that Patriots in Texas have had enough. And they just did something absolutely amazing and quintessential to finally put an end to stop the Islamization of Texas. The question is, how did we get here? How did a red state like Texas become an enclave for Islamists from the Middle East and around the world who came in with their different ideas, their ideology, their Muhammad, their Allah, their God, came in and set up these bases, these cities, tried to run them with Sharia and are actively trying now to make Sharia law a thing. How did that happen? Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's because you and I, out of our magnanimity, our benevolence, our generosity, funded it. Yeah, we funded Texas becoming what it is, an enclave for Muslims. Because since 2017, according to this finding presented to the House Judiciary on Sharia and political Islam, U.S. taxpayers spent $4 billion routing to Islamic entities nationwide. This is insane, and this lady breaks it down.
Texas is ground zero for the Islamic conquest of America. We are deep into a 1,400-year Islamic immigration conquest pattern, a patient, relentless strategy of settlement, infiltration, and eventual dominance. The Muslim Brotherhood's 1991 explanatory memorandum entered in federal court calls it a, quote, civilization jihadist process to destroy the West from within. That plan has been capturing Texas for over 35 years. We now have Over 330 mosques. CARE calls them, quote, our infrastructure. Erdogan calls them, quote, our barracks. At least 650 Islamic nonprofits channeling influence. Dozens of Islamic scholars and banks promoting Sharia compliance finance. More than $4 billion in taxpayer funds routed to Islamic entities since 2017. Our own money fueling our demise.
That's crazy, ladies and gentlemen. And this father went off at a school board meeting because his child's school was handing pamphlets for Sharia law and hijabs to students. Wow, can't even believe what I'm reading.
The principal, 1 year ago, the principal on the same day, World Hijab Day, wore that hijab and said she loved it all caps. 1 year to the day later, on World Hijab Day, Sunday, Monday hits, they're putting out girls in Sharia. They're passing out Sharia pamphlets, hijabs, Qurans, understanding Islam, understanding Sharia. Sharia treats half of this room like. And these women are not. This is not a Muslim nation. This is a Christian nation. That principal knew what she was doing, and I am not believing that was 1 or 2 people at that front desk. Fire the principal. You tell the parents, don't go online and get information, but what did they get online? Marco told the truth. That's where they got the information, and you did online.
You know, if more parents show up to the school board meetings, we solve a lot of problems in this country. Okay, so you guys are probably wondering, I'm going to show you a lot more, and it gets disturbing. You're wondering, well, what happened in Texas? Well, ladies and gentlemen, Texas Patriots, according to Amy Mack, you guys did it. Your voices were heard. 95% yes on Proposition 10, which was placed on the Republican primary ballot, asking whether Texas should prohibit Sharia law, Islamic law, a massive roar against Islam's brutal supremacist system, no place in our Constitution, no parallel courts, no sweeping takeover. Your turnout made banning Sharia a national voting issue. No more ignoring mosques, foreign funding, CAIR infiltration, or Sharia enclaves. The fight continues. Codify the ban. So Texas voters literally just voted to ban Sharia law, scrutinize every dollar, dismantle MB fronts, enforce America first. Now, you guys might be like, okay, this is the Republican primary. Well, Republicans run Texas. So this matters. This makes it a Republican platform issue to ban this completely. And we've already gotten wins coming out of Ken Paxton, who announced an investigation into the illegal Sharia city development in Kaufman County, and that's going to bear fruit. The governor also recently, last year in September, signed a law banning Sharia compounds in Texas aimed at Epic City. Epic City was a master planned city in the suburbs of Houston, 40 minutes from Dallas, 400 acres across unincorporated portions of Collin and Hunt counties, and was initiated by the East Plano Islamic Center, Epic, right? It was going to be a literal city with Sharia law, and now it's gone. I want to show you guys this. A candidate born in Iran, a Republican candidate, warned everyone about Sharia law, and he's from a Muslim family, and this guy was running in Texas.
I call down Valentina Gomez for calling all Muslims, 30 names of being a complete bigot and trying to get social media followers. I speak the truth. But I also want to say, as someone whose entire family is Muslim, I'm not down with Sharia law. Sharia law says that women on that side of the room are worth half as much as men. You all agree with that? That is true. That is 100% true. In Iran, Sharia law says women are worth half as much as men. That is 100% true. That is 100% true.
It's literally all true. They say the testimony of a woman isn't worth that of a man's. Like, that literally means a woman's word is like half a man's word. You need like 4 women, to come say something for it to be true, to be taken as witness. So I don't know what these people are like complaining about. Like, oh, that's not what the hadith in Quran, that's what it meant. Come on.
I'll talk about I think what the Biden administration did was a travesty to open the borders and the 20 million illegals in this country. This is a country of immigrants. I'm an immigrant, but this is also a country of laws, and we have to abide by the immigration laws. I'm not down with ICE doing all the inhumane things the way that they're.
You should be down with it. Yeah, ICE is doing what they're supposed to do. By the way, just to fact check that lady, I think she said 330 mosques. It's actually like 350 plus an additional 650 Islamic nonprofit centers, organizations in Texas. So, I saw a video which is really disturbing. Like, if you look at it, they're everywhere. Like, this is like one metro area. I believe that's Dallas. You zoom in and it's like it never stops. This is a takeover. These should be churches. These should be cathedrals. But you're seeing mosques, masjids, or masjids, whatever they call it. This isn't America. This is Pakistan. This is the Taliban. Now, this comes after this property of Allah right here, this guy who is a disgusting human, the Senegalese guy, went in the name of Allah and committed atrocities in Austin like 2 days ago. So Texans are seeing the fruits of what's been going on. And I mentioned that Greg Abbott did something, and I think it's important, but this is only the beginning. They should be doing way more. And it's easy. Sharia law is incompatible with the Constitution, the federal Constitution, as well as Texas's state constitution. So it's easy to ban it. You have to, before it becomes a problem. This is called proactive leadership. Don't wait for them to become a bigger group with significant voting power and lobbying capability to do it. Do it now while you still have the political capital to do. Like, do it right now. And Greg Abbott, the governor, we might need to look into him because apparently one of his biggest donors is a man from Pakistan, a Muslim in Texas. Like, that's a conflict of interest. But the good news is, ladies and gentlemen, Texans basically just said, we will not be a place where these people find refuge. They are not going to build enclaves in our cities or around our cities in the state of Texas. So our Republican leaders who have supermajorities in the state legislature are now empowered to go ahead and fully ban it. That's why it's important to participate in your primaries, in your precinct meetings, because that's where these decisions are made. Texans have put this as a priority now. If you go in and you're a Texas Republican, your party platform is as follows, and they are going to start to push way more legislation to remedy the situation. I believe something else is happening in Florida, very similar. Florida, just like Texas, is inviting a lot of these enclaves. And no one would have a problem with Muslims if they were
Is this the world's oldest man or just a living legend? Solaranaba went viral when many claimed he was 188 years old, something impossible. However, most serious estimates place him between 110 and 120 years old. He has absolutely dedicated his entire life to the Hindu god Ram, and his level of devotion is extreme. It is said that he spent 10 years standing on one leg as penance, something that sounds unreal until you remember Amar Bharati, the man who has been raising his arm in honor of Shiva for over 50 years. Silaran lives in a simple loincloth, regardless of the weather. He spends almost 21 hours a day reciting the Ramayana and receives thousands of devotees who seek his blessings. They give him money, but he only takes what is necessary to eat and donates the rest. For many, he is not just an old man, he is living proof of how far human faith can go. Yeah. Is this the world's oldest man or just a living legend? This is more common than you think. This is more common than you think. Tourists are surprised daily by hungry tigers, and often the story doesn't end well. The most absurd thing is that these animals are so fast and ferocious that it's impossible to react to the attack. Therefore, when in regions with these dangers, you need to be careful, or even better, avoid such places. Would you have the courage to be in such an environment? Yeah. This is more common than you think. Tourists are surprised daily by hungry...
No one wants to fight for Israel!
That's when they broke his arm.
Israel is the reason.
No. What? I want to like Bucharest.
Oh, you want to Bucharest?
Yes.
You serious? Oh, bro. Can I do my best, yeah?
Yep.
Just look at what this pro fighter is doing. While he was walking through a bar, he bumped into a random civilian and then absolutely starched him. His name is Joe Schilling, and he...
These are potassium...
Honestly,
In 1959, on a rock barely 6 hectares wide, 5,259 people were packed so tightly together. It became the most densely populated place in the history of Earth.
This has to work the first time. No going back. 2,000 degrees, molten glass, one shot, one cut. Here we go. So we're gonna try to get that all nice and straight on there. We got the color on now. I know this might look really easy, but I've done this tens of thousands of times. I used to work in a factory. This is my job. Put my bubble, cap the air in there with my thumb. Glass is so hot, the air expands, pushes out the bubble. I'm gonna block this up with my wood block, make it nice and even so it blows up nice and symmetrical. And then I'm gonna hang this down, give it a little puff, really nice and soft. Get the bubble all the way to the bottom. Now I gotta marver this down to a nice taper. Gotta blow real hard. Gotta get all those ridges. Rolling on the color on the ridges. I gotta blow, squeeze, turn, not catch on fire. Now I got my hole in the bottom. You don't want a wobbly pumpkin. Gonna put that in, and then once it slows down, I'll show you the coolness of this pumpkin. So this is our October pumpkin, or October on the vine pumpkin. You can still feel all the texture on the ridges. We got nice defined ridges from our optic mold. All right, pumpkin stem, POV style, push down, pull up. This is gonna be green, not red. So it's coming out great. I'm looking at the temperature. I'm looking at the movement of the stem right now. So this is all really hot. I'm trying to adjust my hands right now. This pipe is freaking hot. Should have cooled it. I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm pulling, trying to get the right thickness all the way around. Go for the flip down. Woo, beautiful. Seal that all the way around. I gotta bring this around before it gets too cold. Yes, spin towards us so we can see what's happening. Make sure I don't burn the camera guy. We'll go for the cut. Everyone hold their breath.
the October on the Vine finished pumpkin you just watched us make. You can see the true color now. We have that sparkly green stem. We have the texture green on the ridges.
Every trading course says you'll get fun.
He's just moving furniture, and out of nowhere...
2 hands, 2 pens. No human should be this fast. Two hands, 2 pens. No human should be this fast.
Look at that. Here's the moving an inch on that little chain. Man, this chain's tiny. I float like a butterfly. I might drop like a brick on this. All right, let me go. Oh, I told you. Can't That's do it. He's like a...
Watch closely.
Incredible control. Perfect touch.
Good Lord. If you stay calm, it's just timing.
Ready, go.
Two hands, 2 pens. No human should be this fast.
Stay low, ma'am. Don't fight the bull.
Dragging me!
We need a catch ball. Get back in the unit.
They have to learn to walk on high stilts because that's the only way to survive in the Ethiopian tribe. Venomous snakes, scorpions, or even crocodiles that wear shoes and sprint often roam the ground, making it deadly to walk there. The swamps they also cross are full of mud that can swallow anyone. So by walking on 3-meter high stilts, they can move quickly and safely. That's why if you can walk, then hit like. They have to learn to walk on high stilts because that's the At AT&T, every...
Did you know?
This is the fastest man alive. Whew! Wow, he's fast. Sped up about that. That's natural speed.
Oh, he's like a cobra with that
he's
big
fast.
lighter.
Wow.
In the ancient land...
Do you know what the most expensive...
I partnered with Dove.
Everyone was puzzled by this guy's strategy because as soon as the lumberjack competition started, this participant decided not to rush anywhere and engage logic. And when his competitors were already far ahead, only then did he start. But the way he did it impressed everyone because that time at the beginning that he took for thinking allowed him to calculate the number of strikes and the angle he needed to spend minimum effort and quickly catch up with everyone. The winner is the one who cuts down the top part of the tree. But what's this? Our genius decided to go down to the bottom, and while his competitors are already close to victory, cutting the tree from 2 sides, our hero started the path from 0 to get out on top from the opposite side and take the most advantageous position. And here's the moment of truth. He's chopping with all his might because he has absolutely no time left. And when his competitor decided to rest and see how our genius is doing, he's just winning. Everyone was puzzled by this guy's strategy.
Watch this.
How many almonds are right along this row? 6. How many are along the back here?
6.
How many on this side?
6.
How many along the top?
6.
And how many in the middle?
4.
Right. Okay, so check this out. This is crazy. So if you take one, move it here.
Okay.
Take this one, move it here. How many are along the side now? 6. How many along this one?
6.
And this side?
6.
And the front?
6.
But there's only 3 in the middle now. Weird. So look, try this one more time. If you take this one, put it here.
7.
Take this one, move it here.
That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6 along the front. How many on this side? How many on this side?
And 6.
And 6. Right?
No!
There's only 2 in the middle.
That does not make sense.
So look, if you move this one here, move this one here. Now how many along this way?
6.
How many here?
6.
How many here?
6.
How many along the front?
6. What?
There's only 1 here.
Okay.
Okay, now we
Right. So now look. Look, if you take this one,
Okay.
it goes here, and this one moves here. How many along this side?
6.
How many along this side?
6.
How many on this side?
What the
How many on this
heck,
side? There's
Evan?
0 in the middle.
How
I
is
don't
that?
understand. Is it like an illusion?
Watch this. Watch this.
Simple ideas that blow your mind. Most people miss these.
As a mom to 3, we are on the go.
All right.
This is why so many engineering students.
This is James Jin, an archer like no other. Nothing escapes his aim. Whether his eyes are closed, he's looking the.
All right, so that was me going through some stuff. We just randomly just scrolling through just to see what was out there.
This is an ordinary record, but today I'm going to be
I
showing
think
you.
I'm pretty done for today. I'm kind of tired.
Nobody wants to attempt it willingly, at least. And first, we got to shoot her so.
I gotta look up some more stuff, but you know, we covered a lot of stuff today. As far as the war, we'll have more in other even deeper conversations. I don't know, today just seems like a pretty chill day, you know? So, I kind of ran through those videos already pretty quick. I'm thinking, just with this whole Iran thing, it's pretty wild, man. Everybody's on it, but it's there's so much going on. But yeah, I think I'm gonna call it early night tonight. We will be back for Friday night. We will have an extended show. But yeah, hope everybody rested well. Today was a pretty nice day. Chill. It's kind of slow. I mean, like, it was a lot of work, but it just felt like the day was slow, you know? But yeah, thanks for coming, guys. As always, I appreciate it. I apologize that the show couldn't have been a little more exciting and entertaining today. Kind of out of it. I'm tired. We stayed up so late last night, and then I got off work. I had to go shopping, so I'm ready to lay down. But Friday night, you know, if I decide not to go out, we can have a late show. But hope everybody gets some rest. Hope you guys had a good day. Shit, I will see y'all tomorrow. Peace.
Checks in the mix where it's hella high.
We thirsty, so we snatch your water, go to jail now. If that shorty is your daughter, she a hella thot. And her mama bombshell, finna hella drop. Pop up with my niggas, got that killer cop. Sheriff Joe running quick, tryna blow my spot. On the road, riding dirty, got a dish to crop. Banging ass green grams, wait out on the dock. If Molly coming to the party, Lucy want me to pop. Juicy eye to eye, can you see mine's eye? Never mind, let me wine, dine, and dazzle your mind. If you're tryna catch up, then turn up behind. I carried on our date, just to kumquat her grape. I got the appetizers and peach sliders for your plate. I kiwi all you plum slices. I got diced fruit for your fade. Okay, enough with your fruity pebbles, loops, or mini chips. We eating on that A1, saucing on them dead. We real ones, we go-getters too. Go get those insides, pimps and hustlers, dude. Blowing smoke into the air. Fuck you, miss while we cruise. I don't play fair, but never break the rules. Smoking cigs and bottle runs. Local banging ass niggas. Bless the bottle, light them up. Got bitches hanging ass niggas. If you can see me now, maybe hating ass niggas. Where you been when I had nothing ass niggas? Don't be coming round now. You can't hold nothing ass nigga. Now I'm up. Here you showing up ass nigga. With or without you, I was finna get it. Just be proud of the fact that one of us made it. EPA checks in the mix where it's hella hot. We thirsty, so we snatch your water, go to jail now. If that shorty is your daughter, she a hella thot. And her mama bombshell finna hella drop. Pop up with my niggas, got that killer cop. Sheriff Joe running quick, tryna blow my spot. On the road, riding dirty, got a dish to crop. Banging ass green grams, wait out on the dot. If way back when you was with me when I rode, you be here smoking blips with me. Cups hella full, taking sips with me. Nah, I'm out here on the hustle in this industry. Yeah, grab my wifey, nuzzle up between the sheets. Kiss her softly, make that wet spot on the sheet. Coming with my cousin, have another dream. Turn the music up with a blip of the street. The money stack rising. Like the hit at the peak of the day. High noon, it gets way too hot to play. Seriously, the time to get paid is all week. Getting this day out with the ass with the 2 pieces. Knocked out KO, got that 2-piece. Eat this, you niggas that's hungry for beef, eat this. Fucking with me is a dream, y'all niggas sleepless. If I had you on the scale, y'all niggas wait place on the corner with the pill, hands out. Y'all niggas shameless, roll up to your spot. Burn y'all niggas faceless, talking all that shit. The bullets, y'all niggas nameless. The SAZ rollers out here, y'all niggas ain't shit. PA checks in the mix where it's hella hot. We thirsty, so we snatch your water, go to jail now. If that shorty is your daughter, she a hella thot. And her mama bombshell finna hella drop. Pop up with my niggas, got that killer cop. Sheriff Joe running quick, tryna blow my spot. On the road, riding dirty, got a dish to crop. Banging ass green grams, wait out on the dot. Granny Entertainment, go ahead, baby. If you do not want to change, if you do not want to better yourself, if you do not want to break outside of this matrix, if you want to live in your comfortable delusion that they have built for you, do not watch these videos. Leave this channel immediately. If you do not want any truth, if you don't want to understand, if you are not here to hear something that's outside of your own mind and accept others' minds and opinions and the way they think for themselves, you do not belong here. And finally, if you are not trying to be positive, if you are not trying to help create solutions while we discuss the problems and how they got here, you do not belong here. Negativity, hate, disrespect, name-calling, those things will not be allowed here on this platform, and not in this empire. We are the ones, the true Americans, that want to be free and stand as we have always stood.